began in May of 1997. I went and saw it with my father at Yorktown Cinema in Lombard, and being at the age of 5, the whole introduction of the music was just, it takes you into another galaxy, and the presence of the battles and the lasers, and then the presence of Darth Vader was something that I'd never saw before, and it just like sucked me into this whole different world that I found fascinating with different characters, and that continued out throughout the movie when they went to the cantina and you saw these creatures, and you saw the first coolest role model in my life was Han Solo. And you wanted to be like him because of how he carried himself and his clothing, and again, that I connected with him more than any character, and just wanted to see how it was going to play out, and the story of good versus evil and the odds that they had to overcome to carry that out was just awe-inspiring. So that again brought me in.
How has Star Wars continued to grow on you and or change?
It's grown on me throughout where I wanted to see how the story continued, and that's, to me, it went to like 1983, and at that time I was like 11 years old, and that was when we learned what had happened to the characters, and then there was a discontinuation of it for almost over a decade, and then when they brought the story back, I had changed, obviously in age, and so therefore the whole magical allure kind of changed with it. I continued on by looking at all the merchandise because it was everywhere, and so when I was younger, I wanted all of it. What kid doesn't want, his favorite movie, and it has much? And when you go over to your friend's house and they had something that you didn't, you're like you wanted that also. But again, it's through the toys, the merchandise, the art aspect of the sculptures and the paintings, and that's what's carried it on. And having kids, I thought they would share in that love and interest, but kids, are each of their own, and they have their own interests. So
How has your experience with the origin of Star Wars begun?
I don't remember how old I was since the movie came out in 77. I was 2 years old when it came out. I remember going with my dad and my brother and seeing it. And then it just became part of our lives, I guess. And then seeing the next one that came out and the next one, my brother, your Uncle Gary, just loving it so much that I think it just became contagious. And we bought toys and we always played it. And, I was always Princess Leia.
How did you find Star Wars to be appealing and entertaining to you personally?
Loving the movies, loving all of the characters, and then getting the toys. I think the toys had a huge impact on our lives because we got so many of the toys when we would go to Kmart. My mom going shopping and letting Gary and I just go into the toy section by ourselves and telling us to stay there, and she would just know that she would find us in the Star Wars aisle, each picking out our own figurines of the people that we liked, the collector's cards, the clothes, just everything. And I think that's what just kept it alive even when there weren't any more movies coming out.
How have you continued to carry on your love for the franchise through your life?
Well, I continue to carry it on through you. We decided when you were in preschool, all the other boys in preschool really liked Power Rangers, and we weren't really fans of Power Rangers, so we tried to think of something else that we could get you involved in, and we thought you were old enough to watch Star Wars, and you just fell in love with the movie too, and I loved that you loved it so much. Then just being able to watch all of the movies with you. And I think if it weren't for you falling in love with it, I probably would have been, oh yeah, I'm a fan of Star Wars, but not doing as much as I do with it now. Sitting through your Jedi Academy and then getting to go to Star Wars Celebration with you, and still a huge fan, and I owe that all to you.
As the interviews state, my Star Wars roots started with my uncle and my mom in 1977 with the original release of Star Wars before it was branded the title A New Hope. Since then, it has stuck with them through the merchandising, which according to Janine Poggi from Business Insights Essentials, racked in nearly $3 billion prior to the release of The Force Awakens. This summer, my family is spending time in Disney, which means I'll get to experience Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for the very first time. According to the New York Times' Brooks Barnes, Galaxy's Edge boasts over 700 unique collectible items, toys, and trinkets, which has me ecstatic to drop my save paychecks on. There are also many foods straight out of the movies that are served in Galaxy's Edge Docking Bay 7. Through the toys, comics, theme park, games, and media, Star Wars has lasted generations in my family, and will continue to live on through me, and that is all thanks to Star Wars being in the A tier for marketing and merchandising